Greetings and welcome to the Halloween edition of the Sliders Review. And I'm here today to talk to you about... Alright, let's address the elephant in the room. I know it's not Halloween. Alright, that's long past. But when it came to my Halloween videos, I ran out of time and I couldn't upload everything I wanted to. So that's why I'm uploading them past Halloween. But if you stop and look at it like this, at some point in time, it's gonna be Halloween time again, October. So somebody eventually will stumble upon my videos and watch it around Halloween time. So yeah. Legend of the Seeker Season 1 Episode Cursed. So this is the last individual episode of Season 1 I will review because I feel like I've gotten all the important episodes out the way, and so then I can just do the rundown review and then incorporate the Season 1 finale into that, because the Season 1 finale is very important. Now, they're a little important, like, because most of the other episodes I did not cover are just filler to make people like the hero more. And that is something important that does happen in the next 2 episodes, but I'm just going to cover that in the rundown review. One thing will lead to the end of the season finale, and the other thing will foreshadow, I guess you could say, something into season 2. Something that when you hear it in season 1, you're like, that can't be true, because you don't know that person telling the truth or not. And then in season 2, you realize, oh crap, that is true, and stuff. And so also, this is a Halloween type episode, and I planned on actually reviewing this one last year, but I ran out of time and I completely forgot about it. And so I just put it off until now. And so, yes, another reason why I want to get this out. But Curse is a very, very, very good episode. It reintroduces us to Shota, which I have not mentioned yet, because she was in another episode. And it also introduces us to Aranahan. And I don't think that's ever showed up in the show before just yet. And so, like, this episode's cool. It's a nice, good old-fashioned horror story with a unique twist that catches you by surprise. And so the monster in this is kind of like a hairless werewolf, if you can. Now, one problem with the monsters on this show, whether they're CGI, a puppet, or a person in a costume, they never really show the face, and that kind of bugs me. When the monster is always attacking, they do it like very fast and cut scenes. I'm just like, show the face. Maybe the prosthetics ain't that great, who knows? I've seen the mask and the clips that I was able to like freeze frame, and it looks pretty good, you know what I'm saying? So I don't know why they didn't feel confident enough to show it, but hey, whatever, you know what I'm saying? And so this episode starts off weird. I still to this day don't like the opening to this episode. It's basically Kaylin and Richard. They're running historically through the woods because something or someone is chasing them. And they're all like, did we outrun it? And they're like, yes, who? And they're so happy. I'm like, what's going on? Who's chasing them? Bees. Yeah, you named it, bees. I think it's stupid. I think it's a little silly. See, what happened was, because Dark and Raw put another bounty on their head and everything, nobody wants to help them out. So they're starving. And for whatever reason, they're not killing animals in the woods and eating them. Excuse me, it's late. Or getting nuts and berries, they decided, hey, we're going to eat some honey. And so they steal honey from bees, and the bees are pissed. In comes Zed, and Zed takes their food and eats it. Because he's always starving. Anyway, they're talking about how they need, before they can do anything else, they need to go to like an old friend of theirs, a king of this village, because somehow he has driven the Daharan guards away from his village, and they stayed away for many years and stuff. And so he doesn't understand how they did that, but he wants to know how, so they can use that same technique and everything. Plus they've been called to go there and everything. The king's brother sent for them and stuff. So So before that happens, we see a woman at night and she's running and she's scared, right? And then all of a sudden, something grabs her by the foot and drags her and starts eating away at her. Then we see her arm ripped off and everything. And there's this monstrous of a beast that looks like a hairless, like werewolf howling and stuff. They go there and they're greeted by, like, the prince and everything, and he takes them to the king, his brother, King Gregor. And King Gregor is in a dire need. See, what happened before this is, I already talked about, like, how, like, that woman got ate up by, like, the monster and everything, right? Well, he wants the seeker to kill the monster and everything. And he lets them know that he is the monster. They don't understand how. He tells them that, like, when the Daharans invaded his village and everything, they're tough, so he needed help. So he went to Agaden Reach, where Shota lives at. Now, Shota is very interesting. She's slightly different in the books. Not sure if she's a witch or a sorceress. They keep changing it in the show per season and stuff. And so Zed's all like, she's a she-devil. Why would you make a deal with her and everything? And so, like, he said, he had to get the Daharans out. So he asked for her help to keep the Daharans at bay. And so she cursed him and everything. Every night, he turns into a Kothrab. A Carthrob is, like I said, a hairless werewolf-looking thing with a monstrous face. Basically, it's an animal with blood rage. It rips its victims apart. It eats them. And it's something that all the Daharan children are scared with at night, like horror stories and stuff. And so, since the Daharan people fear that thing, a Carthrob, so much, they won't even go near it. And so he tells them that, like, he one of the latest victims was his wife. Now, he spent half his castle jewels to purchase a very magical gift, a Radahan. Basically, what it is a metal collar with a little key slot to it in the middle. Basically, it's a magical tool that suppresses a person who has magic. So it's kind of like the collars on the X-Men, the mutant collars and everything. It shuts off their powers. So anybody who has magical powers, it shuts off. Now, he said that the thing must not work because every night he wakes up. Oh, no, not every night, but every morning he wakes up with, like, blood on his tongue and everything. And so he doesn't, like, understand how this thing isn't working and stuff. And he fears for the life of his daughter and his villagers and stuff. And he tells the seeker, Shota will not lift the curse and everything. So he wants Richard to kill him because the sword of truth is the only thing that can kill a Carthrob. And so, like, Richard don't want to do it. So Zed has an idea. He's gonna go to Agaden Reach and talk to Shota, but he's gonna, like, make these magical chains that nothing can break through them. Well, at some point in time, we see the Princess Cora, and she's talking to Kaylin and everything. And, she's a very nice, sweet, humble girl. And, like, she, talking about how she misses her mother, and Kaylin's all like, she knew her mother when Kaylin was, like, little and stuff. And then something happens. One of her servants come and is all like, there was, like, these people in a wagon, and then one person got bit by a snake vine, and now they're out in the woods and they need help. Well, of course, the monster could go get them and everything. Now, the daughter does not know her dad is a monster. So she's going to go and Kaylin's going to go. So later on that afternoon, we see Zed, right? And he's talking to Shota. Now, him and Shota have a past, if you will. She misses him. She wants him. He doesn't want nothing to do with her. This infuriates her and everything. I like her vibe. She's very sassy and seductive and everything. And she's played by Danielle McCormick. I love that actress. I first saw her in Xena. So anyway, she doesn't understand why Zed's coming here begging like an old fool and everything like that. And she tells him plain and simple, her curse is not a curse, it's a gift. And she ain't gonna lift it because that's the only thing keeping the Daharans out. And then once they breach that kingdom, then they'll come for her land and stuff. So she gives Zed a parting gift. And she shows him a vision of something that's gonna come. Because that kingdom needs a Kothrab. See, the Daharan army plans on pouncing on the kingdom soon. And her visions always come true, but they can be avoided and stuff. So Zed goes back and tells them that it takes a whole hour just to get back to the kingdom. Richard shackles the king and everything and tells him that Zed magic, nothing will be able to break these chains. But the king does not believe that, and he tells the seeker, at the first sign of transformation, you kill me and everything, right? So as Kaylin and Cora are trying to help that little girl and stuff that are inside the wagon, it's stuck and everything. Well, the horses get spooked and everything, and they flee. Next thing you know, the king transforms into the monster. Richard, with sword in hand, he hesitates. This hesitation is going to cost him. Why? See, he hesitated because one, he doesn't want to kill him, and two, the chains are working until the king is able to not bust through the chains, but bust through the rocks they're connected to. So he knocks Richard out, and he starts smelling blood. He smells Kaylin and the others. So then they're attacked and everything. He knocks Kaylin. Well, Kaylin's trying to fight him with her daggers. He knocks her out. And so then the princess is trying to fight him and stuff. All of a sudden, the condor comes on. And this is the second time it's ever happened and everything. Richard shows up. He's trying to fight the beast and everything. Cora's all just kill him already and everything. And so Kaylin is still getting knocked out, even though the blood rages in her and stuff. And so Richard gets knocked to the ground. His sword gets knocked down. As the monster leaps towards him, Richard grabs his sword and boom, the monster is impaled on his sword. And he didn't even have to kill the monster. The monster pretty much killed itself. So he throws the monster off him and he goes to see if Kaylin's all right and the girl and Cora. Well, Kaylin tries to confess Cora, but Richard's able to calm her down. And then the reveal happens. Cora sees the monster, but it's not the monster no more. It's her dad with the sword of truth sticking out his chest. Or his chest, I should say. She is heartbroken and devastated and confused by all this. Now, the transformation is simple. If you're wearing clothes, somehow your clothes transform. I hate that transformation. It's so weird and bizarre. Well, so Cora is upset. She doesn't understand how her dad was the monster and why he never told her. And that her dad's the one who killed, her mom and stuff like that. And so she's even more furious and upset. But now she has doubts. She does not want to take up be a queen and the responsibilities of the kingdom and stuff. And so she thinks about letting her uncle, Marius, take over. But, they kind of convince her that, it'll be the best thing and everything for her to take over the kingdom because it's what probably her parents will want and everything. So she is crowned as the new queen and everything. And so we see a weird look on Marius' face as he gives her the scepter. So it's kind of like he's up to something. Well, Zed lets them know that what Shota told him and stuff. So they're crap, dude, the Kothrab is dead. Well, Zed got a trick. he has these chimes that he's gonna infuse with magic. When the wind touches them, instead of like music coming from them, it's gonna be the screeching sounds of a car throb and everything. So him and Richard put them out in like the woods and stuff, right? Kaylin's having a heart to heart with Richard. And she tells him how like she tried to like, the whole Condor thing took over, and this is like a curse for her and everything, and only the strongest confessors have it, and she doesn't want it. Like, what if she confesses Richard or somebody else and everything? So she makes a decision. She wears the Radahan. Richard does not like this, and talking about, this is a part of you, and she's all like, look, it's like my decision, blah, 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 blah. She doesn't want to hurt nobody and everything. And so, like, he's all like, well, it doesn't work. It didn't work for the king. And she's all like, oh, it's working. I can feel my power being suppressed. So then it's kind of like, well, why did it work for her and not for the king? That doesn't make no sense. So now they're starting to get kind of suspicious and everything. So Zed and Richard are putting up the things and talking about Kaylin, and Zed's like, it's her decision. But then they hear the monster scream. And but Zed hasn't put the spell on the chimes yet. So the monster is still alive and everything. And they don't understand how. So Zed's gonna go back to Aghanim Reach and find out who showed the curse next. So at some point in time, Cora is telling Richard and like Kaylin she knows why her mom ran off into the woods that day, into a cabin. See, she read her mom's diary, and in her mom's diary it said that the king was having an affair. So she went to go confront this woman and stuff. And so it says that somebody told her of the affair. And so Richard and them all like, well, whoever it was, she must have trusted that person. And so like, then they realize something. It's kind of convenient that the mom would be in the same place the Cartrop would be at, because the king, he would chain himself every night. So he was in that same facility, and he didn't chain himself inside the castle. He did it out in the woods near like the cabin. So somebody had to know, and there's only one person who knew that that the king was a monster, his brother Marius and everything. So they go looking for him and everything, and they can't find him. Richard, he finds Marius and everything, and he confesses and everything, but he talking about, oh, you went to Shota, you did all this, so you become a monster and everything, and blah blah blah. And he thinks Richard's stupid. Like, Richard's kind of like just assuming and trying to use some kind of like detective skills, but Marius is kind of like, man, you are like so far off and everything. Well, when Zed is at Aghanim Reach, he is furious at Shota, and he's all like, who did you curse next? And she's all like, it is not a curse, it is a gift. She gets pissed about that. Like, it's so funny. But she tells him, plain and simple, she ain't cursed anybody. She never has. What she did was she spelled the royal scepter. So whoever takes up the kingdom, that person is cursed. So since the king is no longer the king and the princess is now the new queen, she is the monster. And guess who she's hanging with right now? Kaylin. And it's almost nighttime. It turns out the guards are with Marius and everything, and they try to kill Kaylin, and they try to kill Cora. Those two hide in the room, and Kaylin's trying to hold the door as they're trying to barge in. But she tells Cora, I'm not gonna need your help. I can't hold this door and take the Radahan off my neck so I can confess one of them. I'm gonna need your help. Cora's not feeling too great because it's nighttime now, and she transformed. Kaylin is pissed scared, but Kaylin's too smart. She opens the door and uses the men as bait. And so then she locks the door now while Cora's feeding on the soldiers. So then she finds that servant and tells him to get everybody out the castle and hide out in like the caves and stuff. Richard comes back with Marius, and so everybody's getting their facts straight now. And so now they know Korra is like, the monster. But this is what they don't understand. Why didn't the Ranahan work? Because see, when Richard and them came back, he had to fight Korra, and they had to put the Ranahan around her neck and everything, right? And so like they don't understand why it's working for everybody else, not the king. So Kaylin does what she does best, and she confesses Marius. And he tells him that when his brother slept, he put a sleeping potion in his food. Then when he fell asleep, he unlocked the Ranahan and let his brother go wild and eat people and stuff. And now there's another problem. See, the Harns, the spy got a message out to them telling them the Kothrob is dead, and he wasn't able to tell them that it's still alive. So they're gonna come and invade the kingdom and everything. So the four of them are all armed with weapons, and they're getting ready to fight the Harns. They fight, but they get their butts whooped. Richard's supposed to have the strength of 20 men when he fights with the sword of truth, but he ends up getting his butt kicked in this episode. So we see the Daharan guard and everything, the general, and it's played. I think his name is Richard Kahn. He played Mauser in Cleopatra 2525, and he was in the first Chronicles of Narnia movie as a centaur and stuff. And so he's ruthless and everything. He wants the Seeker's hands chopped off, and the guard does it, but to the viewers, we are tricked. See, what happened was Shota was able to see a vision. Basically, she pours water in this like chalice type thing, and it shows her visions. It's kind of like that little thing they use in Harry Potter when they want to look through dreams and stuff. And she tells Zed, an hour from now, this will pass, and the Seeker will have his arms chopped off. And Zed's all like, there's no way he can get there in time. I think it takes more than an hour to get back and forth, I think. And so he has an idea. See, Shota is pissed because her and Zed had a relationship, and he left her many years ago. And she told him that our children will be powerful and they will rule. Our power combined can move mountains and everything. And so he tells her, let's move a couple of mountains, or better yet, the moon. So it's now present time. An hour has passed. Richard's about to get his hands chopped off, and all of a sudden it's daytime, but it turns night, and nobody can understand how. And the guards are scared. We see Shota and Zed holding hands in a circle of fire, and they're moving the moon to cause a solar eclipse. So now it's dark everywhere, and now Korra can transform, and she takes that Ranahan off. And so she just tears up some of the guards and everything, just ripping them to shreds. And so the rest, they're so scared they flee and everything. I like that twist. That's a nice little twist, man. And so Shota tells Zed, don't leave her again, because look what they could do. Their kids can rule for generations. And he tells her that's exactly why he left. They're too powerful. And all that power needs to have checks and balances and stuff. Understanding, she gives him a parting gift. So after they have a heart-to-heart with Korra and everything, she decides she's going to tell her people that, she's a monster and this and that. And so they go to find Zed. Now this is what I don't understand. Kaylin and Richard love each other. They can't touch each other because of Kaylin's powers. Why didn't Korra just let them use the Ranahan for an hour? That just came through my mind, It didn't go through their mind. But anyway, they find Zed. And so Kaylin, before they find Zed, Kaylin was telling Richard that, she tried to call on the condor when his arms were going to get chopped off, but it didn't come on for some bizarre reason. But anyway, they find Zed, and Zed tells them what Shota showed them. There's another book of counted shadows. Remember when Richard destroyed it in the premiere? Well, a monk copied the inscriptions and everything, and it's in another village. But the problem is, Raw will soon figure its location out, so they have to hurry up and get there. Now, it's a really cool episode. It's a unique episode. It's a romantic episode. But I decided not to talk about it for Valentine's Day. If I do, then I'll do it next year and stuff. But I'll do it in the rundown review. So, yeah. I like this episode. It was dark, it was gruesome, it was twists, and there was turns left and right. This made for a really good like horror episode for like Halloween time. That wasn't that spooky. Alright, well, I shall talk to y'all later. Bye.